we're now going to do a state exercise. And state is really your emotional and physical well-being, whether you're happy, whether you're calm, whether you're angry, whether you're determined. So what I'd like you to do is just think about, before you go into a meeting with a client, what sort of states would be useful to you?
I think it's very important to be relaxed,
Right.
to also feel in control and to be feel in control of the meeting, really, that I know what I'm going to say, and also be confident about the subject I'm going to talk about.
Okay. What I'd like you to do now, and for the sake of this exercise, we're just going to take one of them. I want you to remember a time in the past when you were really confident. Sometime in the past, it could have been when you were small, it could have been yesterday, it could have been just a time that you felt really, really confident.
Okay.
Okay, and as you remember that time in the past, I want you to just remember what you could see. And by what you see, it's something that will be in colour, it will be something that you could definitely see through your eyes. So just let me know when you've got something.
I can see people around me listening to what I'm saying, and they're being attentive, and they're liking what I've got to say.
Okay, and what sort of colours are they wearing? What colours can you see?
There's quite bright colours. I can see what they're wearing. It's a colourful picture.
And now, can you remember what you can hear? Remember what you can hear.
I can hear positive voices. I can hear general, people enthusiastic about the content of what I'm saying to them.
Okay, and you can see what you can see, you can hear what you can hear. How in your body did you know you were feeling confident? Maybe you can remember a posture, maybe you can remember some sensations in a particular bit of your body.
I feel confident probably in the chest area, in my breathing. I think that's where I feel confident.
Now, what I want you to do is to be able to bring that back sometime in the future. So I just want you to choose a finger or a thumb, and I want you to see what you see, hear what you heard, feel what you feel, and as you get those feelings of being confident through your body, I just want you to touch that finger. Then I want you to just let go, but I want you to repeat the exercise 5 times. I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, let that feeling of confidence really come back, and as you do that, touch your finger again. And I want you in your own time to repeat that exercise 5 times, and just let me know when you've done it.
Okay.
Brilliant. And remember, anytime you go into a meeting sometime in the future, as you walk up to that meeting, you can bring that state back, or a part of that state back, just by touching that finger again. I'm going to say a little bit about state, because in some ways in NLP, state is one of the most important concepts. Whether we're happy, whether we're sad, whether we're interested, whether we're curious, because in many ways the state that we're in, both for me as a coach and both for my client, is actually what lets them unlock some of their resources. If somebody's curious, if somebody's interested, if somebody's excited, then they can access all sorts of positive things. If they're nervous, if they're anxious, if they're angry, while some of these states are useful at some times, they can cut off from the resources they've got. Therefore, by getting people to work on what are useful states in certain situations, it actually enables people to almost come in contact with their own natural abilities. So one of the things that's particularly useful if anybody goes into a meeting to think about, to be aware of, to rehearse what sort of states they want to be at the beginning. Now, you don't want to necessarily run it all through the meeting, because we naturally flow through states and states, through one state to another state. But it's very useful to rehearse the sort of states we want to start off with. And as we develop NLP and NLP training, then we often come back to states, because if somebody was in an unresourceful state, if somebody was having problems, then by sometimes just getting them to smile, just by getting them to have that touch of enthusiasm, it will change their whole attitude and approach to whatever it is they've been thinking about.
I do find it very useful because what I've tended to find in the past that when I haven't considered my state, then it's been left a little bit to lottery. So maybe the particular mood that I'm in, or like everybody, you have good days and bad days. So to a degree, it was left to chance how I would actually approach a meeting. So I find the state exercise is particularly useful because it doesn't leave it to chance. It isn't a lottery. I set myself up to be able to access the right particular skills by putting myself in the right state prior to a meeting. So thinking about the meeting, thinking what states will be useful for this particular meeting, and it gives me that little bit of planning time, a little bit of thought, which I do find very, very useful.